Hey guys, and welcome back to the Life Recovery Devotional series here on Rest Road Church. Today we are starting our Step 4 readings. Today is day 1. We are going to be reading about facing the sadness. Our Bible reading is out of Nehemiah chapter 8, verses 7 through 10. Step 4 is we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Most of us falter at the prospect of making an honest personal inventory. The rationalizations and excuses abound for avoiding this step. The bottom line is we know that there is an enormous amount of sadness awaiting us, and we fear the pain that facing the sadness will bring. The Jewish exiles who returned to Jerusalem after captivity in Babylon had lost touch with God. During the exile, they hadn't been taught his laws, so naturally, they hadn't practiced them either. After rebuilding the city walls and the temple, the priests gathered the people together to read the book of the law. The people were overwhelmed with grief and began sobbing because their lives in no way measured up. The priests said to them, "Don't mourn or weep on such a day as this, for today is a sacred day before the Lord your God. Go and celebrate with a feast of rich foods and sweet drinks, and share gifts of food with people who have nothing prepared, for the joy of the Lord is your strength." That day marked the beginning of the Festival of Tabernacles, a required Jewish feast which celebrated their escape from bondage in Egypt and God's care for them while they wandered in the wilderness. When we set out to face the pain and sadness of making a moral inventory, we will need the joy of the Lord to give us strength. This joy comes from recognizing, even celebrating, God's ability to bring us out of bondage and to care for us as we pass through the sadness toward a new way of life. Our joy in the Lord helps us to face the sadness within ourselves. You know, I remember doing my step 4 inventory. I remember starting with one thing: me. I was on my own resentment list at least 10 times. And that pain that brought me, having to recognize that I was the source of so much of my own pain, but also that I wasn't the only thing that was causing that pain, and that I could still forgive myself. I had to have the joy of the Lord in that moment. If it hadn't been for the joy of the Lord and the help of my sponsor, I would not have gotten past step 4. In fact, a lot of us in the rooms of recovery state that if you don't get step 4, you will never get to step 12. Step 4 is an action step that finally gets you to confront the mess of the past, the wreckage of the past. But your mess can become a message. And the test that this is, because it is a test, it's a test of your character. Are you willing to lay down the pride that you might have had in who you thought you were? It's a test of your endurance, because it's going to be painful. And are you going to endure to the end, or are you going to quit as soon as things get bad? Because it's tempting. I know it's tempting, but if you're going to get through it, you have to get through it. And then finally, that test can bring your testimony. That test can bring your testimony, which will be much greater than anything you could ever see, because you are seeing a you beyond. You're seeing a you beyond what you could ever have done previous to this, previous to anything of this nature. My goodness. You are a light for somebody else. When you are able to get to the point of seeing past this pain, you will see that you can be a light for somebody else. But it takes confronting this pain. If you enjoy this kind of content, if you like being able to get through this kind of step journey with me, then please subscribe so that you can continue seeing more and more from me. And if you want to subscribe and support the channel, there are links in the description to be able to do that. There are also other places where you can find me. I'm going to be doing a podcast here soon, talking more about recovery and recovery themes. And hopefully you will be able to see some of the things that I've been through and some of the things that I've learned. And you might be able to learn from my experience, my strength in Jesus, and my hope in an eternity with Him. Thank you guys so very much. Have a wonderful day. God bless you. And I'll see you again soon.